What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. This coming spring will be my 10th year of gardening, and throughout that time I've learned both how to do things and how not to do them. So today I want to share with you how you can maximize your productivity in the garden with the least amount of effort. Let's go! When it comes to growing food with the no-till method, the majority of your work is going to be in preparation. It's going to be getting those wood chips down in the off-season. After they're down, that thick mulch, when the growing season comes, you're not going to have to weed or water as much, which is super convenient. In the early spring, when you want to get your annuals in, your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplants, all that kind of stuff, what you want to do is first pull back these wood chips, because we want to make sure we're planting in the ground, not in the wood chips. But if you were like me when I first started, I put like 6, 8, 10 inches of wood chips. They were so thick and it was a lot of work to pull back those wood chips to be able to plant into the ground. The first couple years I was gardening, I would just use a traditional garden rake, one like this. And I would pull back the wood chips as much as I could like this. And it ends up being a good amount of work because, as you can see, the wood chips start to really mat up, especially when they have the fungus in there. So it can be a lot of work if you want to plant 50 or 100 transplants to move all these wood chips back, especially when they're thick. Because this is so large, it's got a big surface area, it causes a lot of resistance, and I've actually broke a couple rakes right here. I'll show you a clip of one of them. So instead of using this, what I found to be an excellent tool, make it easier for me, and it'll make it easier for you as well, is this 4-tine cultivator. It's got these 4 tines. They're deeper than this other one, so you can get in deeper. It has less surface area, so it's not going to be as much resistance when you're pulling it back. And overall, it just makes it so much easier to work with wood chips in the garden, so much easier to get your transplants out. So this section right here, I'm going to show you how much easier. Look how easy we can dig right through that. Now we can get down to soil level and then just move these wood chips off to the side. So it doesn't seem like much maybe, but again, if you're going to be planting 50, 100 transplants, using a tool like this is going to be just more effort, and by the end of it, you're going to be much more tired. Right here, the right tool for the right job. It truly makes all the difference. And it's done excellent things for me. It saved me time, effort, energy, and it's allowed me to get more in less time with less effort. So this is a great tool right here. I highly suggest you get one. And I want to go through a number of other tools that I use for wood chips and in the garden, things you should definitely pick up. But one thing I wanted to mention first though is don't just go out to the store, to Lowe's or Home Depot, and go buy this. Instead, just go locally, look for anyone who's kind of selling anything on Craigslist or any garage sales or farm sales, things like that. That's where to pick this stuff up. I heard someone say, and I think it's a great idea, they said use Lowe's, use Home Depot, treat those like your own workshops, like your own warehouse. Like if you really needed it, you can go get it. But if you can get it locally for cheaper, then might as well do that. Because a lot of these tools, this one I actually bought, but some of them I picked up for $2, $3. This thing I got at a garage sale for $3. So don't waste your money if you don't have to. Save up to buy more seeds, more trees. Some of you may just be starting out with a no-till method. This might be your first year ever gardening that way. And you may have your first load of wood chips just sitting in the driveway. At first sight, it can be daunting. How many chips are there? How many you have to move? But I'm here to tell you that it's not that bad. I'm here to help, give you some information, some education on the easiest way to move them, show you what tools you could use to make it as enjoyable as possible gardening with wood chips. Just a few days ago, this load of wood chips was huge. It was much bigger. It was about, I'd say, 8 to 10 cubic yards of wood chips. But it's all moved now. It only took me about a day or two. And it wasn't bad, it was easy. One of the great things I love about wood chips compared to sand is how light they are. If you had a wheelbarrow full of sand, that's so heavy. A wheelbarrow full of wood chips, not bad at all. Even though they're light though, they don't blow away because they all lock together. It's really nice, almost like puzzle pieces holding each other together. So if you have hay or something, or straw, that will blow away in your garden, but the wood chips, they won't. So convenient. When it comes to moving them though, the right tools is gonna make all the difference for you, I promise. When I first started moving wood chips, I used one of these. You know, it's like a broad fork, and I tried to scoop them up like this and move them. It took forever. The size of the scoop you're gonna get with that, it's gonna take you a while just to fill a wheelbarrow. So this is definitely not the tool you wanna use for moving wood chips. When it comes to moving them to start, this is what you want. I'm pretty sure it's called a manure fork, a pitchfork. It's got a number of tines, not separated huge, but it's sharp and it's easy to cut in. So you don't want to use a shovel because you'll just have too much resistance going against it. But when you have a nice manure fork like this, it'll lift up, give you a good amount. It'll be easy to cut through. This is going to be the tool you're going to want to use when you're scooping at the top of the pile, like I did right there. But if you really want to move a lot of wood chips quick, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to drop it down on a driveway, on concrete, on some kind of surface that's easy to scoop. Then I like to use a scoop shovel or a coal shovel, a nice aluminum one, because it's very light, and you could go just at the base of it. Let me show you like this. You scoop low, and look at the size of that scoop. And again, because these wood chips are light, it's not really that heavy. When you're scooping with that, you need about 6 shovels so you can fill up a whole wheelbarrow. If you're using something like this, you're gonna be out here all day. But again, for the top of the pile, I like to use this one because it cuts in nicely. Makes it very easy to move. If you try to cut into a pile, or the top of a pile with a shovel like this, you're just gonna get a lot of resistance. So that's why I only use it when I'm going on the ground like that, and then moving my wood chips up. One other thing I wanted to mention, and it seems simple, but a lot of people don't understand it. When it comes to using a wheelbarrow, there's a right way to use it and a wrong way to use it. With wood chips, it's not as big of a deal, but say you're moving things that are really heavy, a lot of bricks or something, what you want to do is have the majority of the weight in the front, right above the wheel. Because if you put this weight above the wheel, then you'll have the wheel do the work for you. If you put the weight in the back, you're gonna have to lift that and hold it and stabilize it. All the weight's gonna be on your arms instead of on the wheel. So the correct way to use a wheelbarrow when using heavy stuff is to, again, make sure you fill the front here. All the weight should be in the front. This way you just lift it up and all that weight is just sitting on that wheel. Makes it much easier to use. Using tools is gonna make things way easier. Using the right tools, that's gonna make it even easier. But using the right tools the right way, that's what makes all the difference. Reminds me of Abraham Lincoln talking about cutting a tree down. He said, if I had 6 hours to cut a tree down, I'd spend the first 5 hours sharpening the axe. Good tools make all the difference. Let's get this load of wood chips into the garden. Even after moving that whole load I had in the driveway, I still need more. So I'm gonna have to order some, but that's quite all right. I was out here just the other day using this tool. That's what gave me the idea for the video. In this section right here, last spring, maybe midsummer, I covered this whole section with wood chips. I previously had strawberries here, and the variety I had, I mean, it was good, but I didn't love it. I've got some better varieties in the old food forest. So what I did was I covered that whole section with wood chips, as you can see, very thick, to suffocate out those strawberries. Now that fall is here and most of those have died back, I'm implementing new varieties of strawberries into here. So what I did was I transplanted the strawberries from where I have the raised bed, new raised bed, into this section here. And I use this cultivator to do it. I just took a section and dug deep very easily with minimum work in the tines, clear out a section till I got to the dirt, and then transplanted my strawberries in there. So again, these are varieties of strawberries that I know do well, that I really enjoy. So I want to make sure I'm getting the most out of this section. In this section though, you can see we really have that food forest idea. We've got the one fruit tree here. It's almost like a lower canopy tree. We've got the ground cover of strawberries. We've got the climbing grapes. And we've got the other fruit trees above us. So we're really just gardening on so many different levels in this section. Let me show you the raised bed though, where I pulled all these strawberries from. And this section right here, this is the raised bed where I took the strawberries from. So I just put this raised bed in this fall, and I haven't completely filled it all the way, but I was waiting because this section had so many strawberries that were growing in it. So instead of wasting them, pulling them out and removing them, I just relocated them to that section. And these are those strawberries, the varieties that I wanted to use. So it's like basically getting free strawberries. You can see here, I put a layer down of the black leaf mulch at the base here. So that's what this black is. And then you might also be wondering what this is right here. For my previous bed, I used peat moss. Some of you said that wasn't the greatest idea. I could agree, but I used it anyways. So for this section here, I'm trying cocoa coir. I think that's gonna be a great addition instead of the peat moss. It's basically just a growing medium that's like, it's inert. It doesn't have any nutrition or anything. It's just gonna be in here to help fluff up the soil to give it a better structure. So I'm gonna be filling this section up with more black leaf mulch, a little bit of potting mix, and then probably some more cocoa coir till I have it all filled up. Then we're gonna be planting, and a number of you wanted to see a video where we're gonna be building one of these raised bed hoop houses. So we can do that, no problem. This is a double raised bed hoop house, so it's got 2 layers. So what this essentially is gonna do is bring you down 2 zones. So even though I'm in zone 7A, this section in here is really like 9A. And you can see we're still getting some good growth. We're snacking on some of the greens, and it's just a lot of fun to be out here in Jersey in December, moving into January with fresh stuff growing, eating fresh greens. Nothing like it. Only way you can do it is if you grow it yourself. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you found value in it. When it boils down to it though, gardening is a physical activity. It's gonna take some work, but let's work smarter, not harder. Let's use the right tools for the right job. That'll make all the difference for us. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to check out the merch down low. Tuck and James will be back at you with another one real soon. We out.